Hello and welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to step on. I seem like I have a cold this morning. Well, welcome. It's great to have you. It is Thursday, the 24th. Sorry, we did a podcast. I did a podcast yesterday, but I didn't do a video. Shame on me. And I think I didn't do a video on Tuesday. That's bad. That's just bad. So I apologize about that. But today we're going to talk about 4 ways to get more voiceover business. And I'm excited about this because oftentimes we dive so much into the nitty gritty. We don't ever take a step back and look at just the overall picture about things. So I wanted to list 4 different ways that you can get voiceover business. And also I'm going to list them in the order of difficulty that I feel. Okay. Real quick first, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below. That way you can get notified whenever I send out a video or I go live, which we go live on Fridays. And also real quick, if you haven't seen this week, we are highlighting a course from A VO's Journey, which is the ACX course, which is the audiobook exchange. So that course was designed to help you get started in voiceover, grow your voiceover business through doing audiobooks. So that'll be a link below if you're interested in how to do that. And or you can go to avosjourney.com. Okay, so let's dive into this. 4 ways to get more voiceover business ranked in order of difficulty. Okay, so the first way that I think, if I started over again today and this was where I would begin, where I would begin would be here. And that clearly is online websites. We have come to the age of the online agent. Of course they're agents, but that are not online platforms. But basically, whether it's freelance websites, whether it's pay-to-play websites, whether it's intermediary websites, whatever type of websites they are, these big, just bulky websites are driving mass amount of traffic to their pages, to the people on their sites. So it's really vital that we are there. Okay. And remember, I'm not talking about pricing, because pricing can be whatever you want. Okay. But the key is that there are people being driven there in mass droves. Nowadays, when anyone wants something, they go and search online. Okay, we're buying almost everything online, especially over the past year with the pandemic. I mean, everything is just so much hyper shifted to online. So, you just have to consider that that's where you want to be. Okay, and that really is the first way to get work, whether it's, like I mentioned, ACX, okay, which you go and audition. It's a good course, by the way. But anyways, if you audition, or whether you're on Fiverr or Upwork, or whether you do pay-to-play sites or intermediary sites like Voquin or wherever you are, okay, those are the places where they're driving massive amounts of traffic and you're going to get the most exposure, okay? So that's number 1. Now, just real quick, you got to make sure that you have a great thumbnail or headshot, that you have an amazing voiceover demo, right? That you have, equipment ready to deliver a great product. All right, because there's no doubt that the voiceover business is growing. It's continuously growing. More and more people are entering the business. So you have to up your game in order to be competitive. That doesn't mean if you're just starting out, you can't be competitive, because there's a bunch of people just starting out. So you're going to be competitive. You want to be competitive in whatever area you're at right now. Okay, so that's the first place that I would look at to get voiceover business is online websites. The second way is direct marketing. So direct marketing are going to be things like emails, phone calls, going to specific people through social media, and direct marketing. Now, there's kind of like an indirect marketing idea, on social media, which, is very similar to what I do a lot of times. We're posting videos, you know what I mean? Making people aware of my business. I'm not selling, but I'm just making people aware of things that I'm offering. And if they're interested, they can go check it out, right? So that's more of like an indirect, but direct is going to be like going straight to the people you're trying to work with. Whether you find out a company, you message them on social media, you send them an email, you make a phone call, you send them a postcard, you send them a letter in the mail, something where you are directly reaching out to people. Email marketing has been a big factor in business since it began, and it's definitely gotten a lot harder to get business through email marketing, but it's still a vital part of what we do as business owners and as voiceover artists. I like the idea of cold calling just because it helps you validate whether the email list, or whether who you're emailing is going to work. But I would say that just, on a side note with direct marketing is super important. This is really, really important to understand. Over the past year, so many studios closed down. All right. Or so many studios had to close and are just now reopening. But, so much business has shifted even more so online than ever before. So it's just important to think about who you're actually contacting. Before the rule of thumb was, listen, we contact video production companies, we contact audio production companies, and those are still great to look for. But they're not as prevalent as they once were. Again, that doesn't mean that we don't contact them and they're not out there. It just means that it's important to note who is growing, right? Where is the trends going? Like who is actually starting to purchase voiceovers more and more? Okay, as opposed to these studios or big studios, so much more work is non-union work. Right? So much work is individuals like you and I trying to grow our business, but they're either doing, a product of their own. It's millennials, right? Or people between 25 and 35 who are used to living their entire life through online purchases and online interaction. So, they're buying and they're starting to run places and companies, right? They're starting to run marketing places. They've started their own companies, right? It's a different set of rules now. So it's important that you know who you're marketing to, who that client is, not just the blanket video production companies or audio production companies, because that in between is not so much the prevalent anymore. Okay, so that's the second way, is direct marketing. The third way, and I thought about this a lot because I don't use them myself. And that's agents, the traditional agent. Fortunately, I have of a lot of friends. I've made a lot of friends over the years in voiceover who do use agents and who do run studios and things like that, and all over the country and the world. And it's neat to see their perspective and their point of view, learning more from them. Also, if you followed Avio's journey at all, I'm starting to build out my own voiceover agency, if you will. But agents are still a great way to add to your marketing portfolio, right? So basically, you need to find the agent, all right, go through the process that they want you to go through to be represented by them. And their job is through their contacts, through their marketing, find you opportunities, send auditions to you, and you get to audition and you get opportunities that you wouldn't normally get if you were just doing it on your own, because perhaps you don't know the people that agent does, and hopefully they're very connected, et cetera, et cetera. And that's their job. Their job is not to do voiceovers. Their job is to find you work, all right, like a talent agent. Okay, so agents are another way to do it. Again, I will admit that I think you're going to get way more work going after it yourself these days. But here's the thing. That's coming from my point of view of a person who's not worked with agents. I'm sure there's other people out there who probably are the opposite and who've gotten tons of work from agents and, who would say it's better to go with agents. So I put it as number 3 just because I don't personally use them myself, but I have nothing against agents. I just like having total control over what I'm doing. But they are a very viable way. They've been a viable way for years, and they have been, a cornerstone of the voiceover industry or the acting industry in general, or the performance industry, right? Talent agents, representation. it's like having someone looking out for you. Okay, as well as trying to find you work. So, I have nothing against them, but I don't personally use them. But let's get to number 4, because this is becoming my favorite one, but definitely the most difficult on this list. And that is your personal website. Okay. I remember a couple years ago when I started voiceover, I listened to everybody. They said, get a website. It's supposed to be this one page. Keep it simple as possible. Make sure you've got your contact information, your demos right there on the front. Just some quick information about you, so it's easy. You don't want people having to do too much, right? So I did that. And, after a while and me watching other people too, I started asking people, is anyone getting work from their voiceover website? Like, is anyone actually getting work? Is anyone actually getting contacted? And I couldn't find anybody that was, right? So what I started to realize is that, that was more like a glorified business card instead of our online store or our storefront, if you will, like our brick and mortar store, but online. And, it's like if you were to build a brick and mortar store and just have the window and nothing in the store, right? I mean, that's kind of what it is. I mean, and the crazy thing is with Google, right, or search engines, if you don't have a fully built out website with content that targets key areas, that's ranking, that you're focusing on SEO, your website is optimized, which, by the way, this is like, it can become a full-time job. It is a full-time job. People are not going to find you. They're not going to find your website, and they're not going to do. But if you want to take a step back and, like we're doing here, and look at the 20,000-foot view, sites like Fiverr, sites like voices.com, sites like Upwork, all of these websites that we're talking about, ACX, Voquint, People Per Hour, Voice123, Bunny Studios, all these places, you have to ask yourself, well, how are they getting voiceover work, right? How are they getting all these customers? They're doing exactly this. They're driving traffic to their website. And yes, they are paying for ads, but they are organically driving way more traffic than they're paying for. Okay, and that's through keyword optimization. That's through their website optimization. That's through building out an incredible website. Now, competing with those companies is very difficult because they do have millions and millions of dollars to spend on just, one aspect of their website. But what we can do is work on building out our website, finding those little cracks, and to me, it's like the gold mine, okay, that you're digging for, because that organic traffic, that is free. That is free traffic that's coming your way if you can just get in front of them. And if you can do that, you can build out your website, okay, get the content you need, build out the pages you need, continuously update your website. You're going to get traffic going to your website. They're going to be contacting you, asking you for your voiceover services, or buying your voiceover services from your website. And to me, that's one of the most difficult ways right now currently to get voiceover business, but it is one of the most lucrative ways, okay, because you don't pay a fee. The only fee you're paying is for your website, right, on a yearly basis or whatever, the work you put into it, or if you pay someone else, of course. But you're talking about that's where all these other places are revolving around, is the internet. So if you can tap into that, it's like a limitless supply. All right. So anyways, those are the 4 ways that right now I think, and ranked in difficulty, are the main ways to get voiceover business. If you've got some other ways that you'd like to mention down below, please go ahead and comment. That would be awesome, and see, what, if you've got a special way. We didn't go into the indirect marketing, but I really hesitate to talk about indirect marketing because it's a very long path, and it's more about branding, right? It's more about putting out content to be for people to become aware of who you are, for people to be able to find you and and say, hey, this is, kind of social proof, if you will, right? It's not necessarily a way that you're going to get tons of voiceover business. Like, what I'm saying is doing the videos and the podcasts and those kinds of things. I mean, yes, they're vital. You can get lots of business. I've built my coaching business this way. Okay. But I've noticed with voiceover that, you have to make sure that if you do this route, it takes years. And it is very lucrative, but it takes years, it takes a lot of consistency, and it takes making sure you're talking about the right thing and you're targeting the right people. And this is all around targeting the right people. Do you know what I mean? So when I'm talking about indirect marketing, I'm talking about like branding on social media, okay? And building that influence. So anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe. And again, leave your comments below on some of the things, some of the ideas that you have. That way you can, maybe we can have a good conversation about some other things that I left out on this list. All right, guys, thank you so much. You have a wonderful Thursday. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.